What is up, my fellow HHN obsessies, and welcome to the HHN Obsession Podcast, where we talk about all things HHN and obsess together over this amazing event. I am your host, JJ, and with me, as always, the co-ghost, James.
James.
Welcome back, James. It is season 4, a very early start to season 4.
Yeah, what's up? We're still in 2024 over here.
Yeah, it is currently December 19th as of this recording, and we are getting started for HHN34 this early. This has never happened before.
Oh, happy birthday real quick to the Ghost of the Day. I was going to play a guessing game on the last one, but just happy birthday to Jake Gyllenhaal, best actor ever. And also, Backpack Kid, remember with the flossing and the Katy Perry? It's his birthday. All right.
How do you even find that information?
I got my sources.
Would you like to explain your Ghost of the Day since it's the premiere of the season in case we have new people?
Yeah, we're starting fresh. Yeah, Ghost of the Day. It's basically just celebrity birthdays, dead or alive. It doesn't matter because we're all eventually going to be ghosts, right? We're like ghosts inside, and then once we're dead, we're ghosts again. So I don't know. Ghost of the Day. It's just birthdays. It's basic.
It's something that he started, and at first I was like, I don't know if we should keep doing it, but then people started to like it, so we're keeping it for now. All right, everybody. So if you've been listening to our show beforehand, you may notice a difference in sound quality, maybe not. I don't know. But I have recently upgraded to a brand new microphone, same microphone that James has been using all this time. And I'm hoping our sound quality is going to be much better from here on out because of that. In the past, in our past seasons, our sound quality has just been all over the place, and it drove me nuts. And I'm sure it drove other people nuts because they never knew how the episode was going to sound. Just a nice little upgrade for us for season 4. We're getting more professional as time goes, quote unquote professional. People will probably laugh at that statement, but
hey, soon to be professional.
Well, the reason that we're here so early is because there is extremely early rumors that are popping up coming from Legacy. If you're new to the HHN community, if you're new to the podcast, Legacy is someone that is on the Inside Universal forums, and he's on Blue Sky. And what he does is he will usually give out clues to what is being talked about between some insiders. People call him an insider, but he's technically, he gets inside information from insiders and then throws them out onto social media.
So he's the middleman.
Kind of.
I thought he was just the middleman.
Yeah, he's not technically an insider. He just obtains insider information. And he just doesn't say stuff flat out, though. He will give out clues or like puzzles, and people have to solve the puzzle to figure the rumor out. And I usually can never do them myself. I just wait for other people to solve them.
Hey, how much sleuthing is going on with this guy, right? Because, like, is he full hacker, like man in the chair? Or is he out, like, scurrying around with his trench coat?
No. I just think he knows people. He has friends on the inside, and he keeps them secret, keeps himself secret. But yeah, Legacy is a big reason that we get to talk about HHN throughout the year, because there's always stuff to talk about after he posts some of his hints or his clues. There's also another profile on Discord. People call him Pinhead because his little profile icon is Pinhead from Hellraiser, and he always gives out information a little later in the year, I guess. So far, it's just Legacy. So I guess let's just go ahead and talk about what Legacy has put out in the HHN ether for us.
All right, then. Yeah. Shout out Legacy.
So this year, Legacy is giving out clues by doing Sudoku puzzles. He's creating these Sudoku puzzles with blood drops on them. And once you figure out the numbers the numbers correlate to a specific American Dad episode. So people, once they figure out the numbers, they have to go to that certain episode that the numbers match with, like season whatever, episode whatever, and watch the episode and just try to find anything that any kind of reference in there or anything. And that's usually how people guess.
Man, I just went through a roller coaster there. You got me excited for Sudoku. I was pumped. And then you threw in American Dad. Oh,
Hey man, don't get mad at me. I didn't come up with the game.
American Dad.
I've never even seen American
What?
Dad. I love Family Guy. I've never seen American Dad. I think I tried and like an episode, and I didn't even
It's
make
not
it
fun.
through. I think if you were
It's
to
not for
start
me.
doing Family Guy episodes, I think I'd be a little more excited to try to solve them.
Yeah, and you got more to hide. You know, you got a wide number of. It's just a much longer running show.
Yeah. But check this out. This is also something I didn't mention. Legacy has said that he has never heard this many rumor rumblings this early on. Like, it just doesn't happen. He's hearing all 5 IPs right now. I mean, they might not all be correct. They might all be, fakes. And a lot of times Universal will throw out fake rumors, start their own fake rumors so people think it's one thing and it's not. That's happened plenty of times. But he says that it is very, very consistent about what he's hearing. And that never happens this early on. I believe he threw out a guess as to why that is. And his guess was because Six Flags has now kind of thrown themselves into the group of theme parks that grab IPs for Halloween. And they are now a competitor, which, I mean, I get it. I get how they're a competitor as far as they can grab certain IPs, but as far as quality is concerned, it's not even close. But I kind of get it. Like, they had Stranger Things last year. What he was getting at is Universal is trying to lock in IPs a lot more earlier than normal.
Just in case of a rivalry like that.
Yeah.
In case someone else snatches it up.
Exactly.
Dude, that's good. That's a good tactic. It's kind of funny. But it's I just saw How to Train Your Dragon again, and it seems like, here's this huge dragon getting annoyed by these little nothings.
Mhm.
I mean, hey, not to shake a stick at Six Flags though. I mean, they're actually the biggest franchise, I think, as far as
As far
theme
as how
parks
many
go.
parks they have, yeah, I can see that. I think Universal is a much bigger company though, but Six Flags definitely has more parks, yes. And they have more Halloween events, but
They got pissed off that you took our Stranger Things. You're peeing on
hey,
our territory right
they
now.
also took The Conjuring, which they never
Yeah,
got to
that
do.
was a good one. That was a good house, actually.
Oh,
I
really?
saw a little bit of the Six Flags. Yeah, that was cool.
Well, so The Conjuring was supposed to be at HHN27 our first year, but for whatever reason, Warner Brothers pulled out last minute, and we got the Hive instead. So they've had a failed attempt at The Conjuring before. So that might have
There was a
been.
cool gag in that house. You're in a hallway and there's a painting, and she like reaches through the painting, and the wall opens, and she lunges at you. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, like the nun from The Conjuring too. That's cool.
Yeah, and then when they reset, they can see through it. So it was like waving and finger gestures. Like they were like, "Come here." That was extra from the actors. That wasn't part of it. It was just during the reset. Pretty good.
Nice. So yeah, this is a direct quote from Legacy's post on the forums. He says, "I've heard enough about this IP to be confident enough in giving it a November clue. There's been a little chatter that Universal made a point to lock IPs early this year, both because of the failed reliance on Five Nights at Freddy's and Six Flags suddenly demonstrating an ability to horn in on Universal's IP game."
Horn in. They're pissed.
So again, that it's just chatter. It's just a rumor that he's saying. It doesn't mean it's true, but it does make sense why all of a sudden he's hearing like 5 different IP rumors this early.
Yeah.
So, but the one that he is most confident in, I think you're going to be excited for, James, because you were excited before. That's a hint.
Before season 4. 2024. We're still in 24.
No.
Okay, 4.
We have had
even number.
We have had this IP before. Do you want me to just to
B4.
go ahead and just
Second.
say it?
Yeah. I think I was close. Fantastic Four. No.
So I apologize. I thought I screenshotted who solved this clue, but I can't seem to find it. But somebody online solved the clue, obviously, and Legacy confirmed this is what he was talking about. That person was right. And the first rumored IP to be coming to HHN34 is The Last of Us 2.
Oh, not bad. Makes sense. Yeah, it's a good gap.
2 years. I mean, it's a 2 year
Wait,
gap.
wait, wait.
They skipped a year.
What does that have to do with the show, though? I mean, I know it's just games, but I wonder if the show's gonna catch up,
Well,
like
yeah.
on their
So,
heels.
so the show, season 2 of the show, is airing this year in 2025.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, but more than likely, it's going to be off of the video game because that's what the first house
No, for
was.
sure. Yeah.
Unless they suddenly just like completely do a 180 on us and give us Last of Us house based off the show.
Ooh, spoiler! Season 2. It's a crossover between the game and the show. It's two universes. It's Spider
Oh
Verse
snap!
of Last of
Oh
Us.
snap!
The Last of Verse. The Last of
The
Verse.
Last of Us.
There we go.
Okay, okay.
I don't know.
That's what the
That's
house
so
would be
dumb.
called, The Last of Us.
It's gonna be the actors right alongside some crappily CGI video game characters.
So what a lot of people are talking about is the possibilities for this house. What are they going to do? They can literally just give us a Last of Us house, and it could be from the first video game, but just with the relevance of season 2 airing this year, it'll still work no matter what, you know?
Yeah, it's not too complicated, that one. You could sprinkle in some new characters.
The first house they gave us at HHN32 was based off of one level from the first game. So people were trying to guess, what are they going to do? Are they going to do another level from the first game? Are they going to just skip over straight to the second game
Hmm.
that could match with season 2?
You start at the conclusion of the first video game and you transition into the second game.
Right.
Story wise, I don't know. I think they can pull it off narrative.
So I know they're kind of milking the show so they can kind of extend it into like 4 seasons or 5 seasons or whatever. I'm not sure, is season 2, did season 1 completely go over
Yeah, I think
all of the first game?
I believe so.
So season 2 is just going to be a piece of the second game.
Yeah,
So maybe that's what they'll do. They'll just do a piece of the second game. That could be a possibility.
yeah, they're not doing the full run in the house, at least because the show's seasons do the full games, but the house does like so far just levels, I guess.
So I won't say the spoiler in case somebody hasn't played the game.
Oh yeah, wait, one or two, either way. Spoiler.
2.
Okay, I haven't.
Oh, do you
I
not
haven't
know
played
what
that one.
happens in the second game?
Not really.
Really? Oof.
A little bit. No. Yeah.
Oof.
Don't tell me. Actually, yeah. Don't tell me.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I was gonna ask the question, but I guess you can't answer it. Okay. Well, this got awkward real quick.
Yeah, I could guess, but I'm sure I'm nowhere close, and then I don't want to know anyway. So, I don't know. Is it? Nah, don't tell me.
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask if you think they were gonna do the big, huge moment of Last of Us 2. All right. So, any thoughts?
On Last of Us 2.
Mm-hmm.
They better bring the merch, man. Bring your guys back over to the artistic team, the creative team. Where are the designers at? You outsource it if you don't got them. Make a contest. Do it the old-fashioned way. Get some free labor.
I mean, I'm
Art
cool.
art contest.
I'm cool with Last of Us merch. That's fine. It's the second rumored IP that, man, they're gonna go all out with merch. I mean, it's just money being thrown at them
Yeah.
if the rumor is true.
Just don't pull the punches like on the merch like this past year. I feel like it was a little lacking on some of those, because they were just spitting out a bunch, so the quality was down, or it was quantity.
A little bit, yeah. It definitely wasn't up to par like it usually is. Let's just hope that this coming year, especially because Michael Aiello is back to being the main guy running the show, that things will be a little better. I am excited to see what they're going to do with Last of Us. Obviously, it just wasn't my favorite house at HHN32. It was good. It was fine. I just don't know if Last of Us Part 2 comes to the event, if I'm going to have it like super high on my hype list. It might be kind of lower.
Well, look at it this way: if it was a not a letdown, but if it was just fine this year, it's probably going to be better this year. I mean, next year. This year thing is weird. I don't know why we're still in this past 2024 right now.
It's weird. Also, by the way, we're on episode 34 right now. Just saying.
Oh,
This is episode 34 for the first episode of HHN34. So,
hell yeah. Oh, it's perfect.
and it's season 4.
Yeah, season 4.
Season 4 for 34. All right. So, the next big IP that Legacy has put out there really surprised me. But his tweet, or sorry, his Blue Sky tweet, I don't even know what you call those. He
The cloud, I don't know.
he put, might be a little impatient, but I'm about 60% confident on this HHN rumor at this point. And then he put another Sudoku clue. Mr. Bazinga Man on Discord, he put, I was able to get the numbers 39362 to get the date 10/7/2007, which took us to American Dad episode Meter Maid, in which Roger is painting a sad clown.
That's a clue. It.
Eh.
Terrifier.
Terrifier.
That's what I meant. I was referring to it, Terrifier. I was pointing at Terrifier.
Terrifier is confirmed to be what the clue is trying to hint at. So, Terrifier is rumored to be coming to HHN34, which is absolutely insane. Super indie movie, super indie franchise, which is good. It means it'll be cheaper for Halloween Horror Nights, which makes sense. Terrifier has been on people's wish list for years since the first movie, and everybody has argued that Terrifier probably wouldn't come to the event because of how brutal it is. I mean, the first movie, some girl gets sawed in half hanging upside down from, their area down. And that was like the biggest moment of the first movie. So how would you put that into a house? But as the sequels came, it seems that there could be more things to use for a haunted house. But again, it's still extremely gory. So Legacy has put out there that he believes, just his opinion, it's not like a confirmed thing, it's just something that he's thinking of, is that they will tone it down to a PG-13 situation. Because if you think about it, HHN really isn't like a hard R event. It really isn't. I mean, there's gore, there's blood, but it's not like to the Terrifier level, you know?
Yeah, they don't turn kids away. It is kind of a family event as long as it's to the parents' discretion if the kid can handle it, right?
Right, right. I mean, but we are talking about an unrated franchise here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that a few years ago this stuff would never have been allowed in theaters. But I'm pretty sure because of 2020, when theaters were having a hard time staying open, they needed anything they could get. So they let Terrifier 2 hit theaters for a couple days. It blew up within those couple of days because all the showings were sold out, and then it had a wide release, and then it just got bigger and bigger from there, which is insane. And because it got so big, it makes sense how Universal would want to obtain that IP. And Damien Leone has said that he would love to work with Halloween Horror Nights to bring Terrifier. He has said that in an interview, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that this could be very true, and I really hope it is. Now, back to the merch thing that we were talking about. Think about how much Art the Clown merch is going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I will buy any Terrifier merch that they put out there. I will buy it all.
Yeah, any and all.
It's funny because somebody pointed out, I believe it was on the forums, that this year they saw more Terrifier and Art the Clown merch than Horror Nights merch being worn at Horror Nights, because the merch wasn't very popular this year or this past year.
Yeah, he's having his Wednesday moment, but it's bigger than Wednesday.
So that they are going to sell like hotcakes. Like that merch will be a huge moneymaker for Universal. Art the Clown has just become this recent phenomenon that's happened. So
Yeah, man. Remember Year of the Waffle? This could be Year of the Art the Clown.
Year of Art the Clown. So just something that I just want to throw out there, and I'm gonna try not to make it sound like I'm bragging. I'm not. and I've never really talked about this on the podcast, but I've dabbled in some indie filmmaking, and in 2021 I made a pilot episode, a horror comedy pilot episode called Ghost Trippers, and it toured around the country in 2022, and we went to a bunch of film festivals and all that stuff. Well, there is this horror convention slash film festival called Days of the Dead, and we did a bunch of their conventions, but one of them was in Atlanta. And in Atlanta, the entire Terrifier cast was in attendance, along with the director and the producer. And it happened to be the director Damien Leone's birthday, and literally just all the filmmakers that were there showing their projects and the celebrities that were there signing were invited to this birthday bash that they were putting on. It was a very exclusive event, and I had the privilege of being invited to that, and getting to hang out with those people, with the director and all of those actors from, and this was the Terrifier 2 era. Terrifier 3 hadn't obviously come out yet, but Terrifier 2 had just hit their huge popularity. They were climbing the mountain at the time, and they were on cloud 9 basically. Super super down to earth people. They were so nice. We were just there hanging out, having drinks, and talking to each other, and they are literally the nicest people. Like, all that success, it couldn't have happened to any nicer people. Super super cool. They are the definition of the perfect success story for indie filmmaking. I think they have brought indie filmmaking to a whole other level. They have opened up the doors for more independent films to go to theaters, because before this would have never happened. Like, a gory, gruesome, low budget indie film having a wide release in theaters
Yeah,
unrated is unheard of.
yeah. I'd say it's rare, and it is. You know, the numbers, the popularity, but that it happened to such good people that deserved it tends to happen in this genre, right? Don't you
Oh
think?
yeah,
Like,
all the time.
because this genre is horrors, all the outsiders, and we tend to lift up the right people. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean, the second movie was made on a $250,000 budget, and it made, I think it was 5 million. And now the third movie was made with, I think it was 3 million, and it's gone up to like 80 million at this point. So I mean, they are having a huge success right now, and it's really cool to see. And it's really cool that I got to have that experience with them. And now all of a sudden it's coming to Halloween Horror Nights. Like, it blows my mind that they went from this little indie film group with the first movie, and now they're just huge. It's really cool to see, especially being an indie filmmaker myself. So I
Unless they take it to Six Flags.
oh no. Universal would definitely be pissed if that was the case.
What if it's all rumors right now, and then they get picked up by Six Flags? They're like, "Hey, we're a hot commodity," and then the first person that hits them up, it happen again? No,
Oh no.
no, but they'd be. It's a no. I mean, who doesn't want to do horror nights? Obviously,
Yeah,
and
and like I said,
if they got the shot, I
Damien
mean,
has already said he'd love to work with Horror
yeah,
Nights in the past. He has mentioned that. So
it's a done deal, dude. It's good to go.
I feel pretty strong that this rumor could be true, and I really hope it's true. Like, I'm extremely excited
Hey, and if
for
not, the
this
ball
rumor.
is rolling
Yeah,
for it to
yeah.
be true.
But dude, imagine Art the Clown at HHN.
Oh yeah, before Pennywise.
I know, dude. I know. I really want Pennywise to come to HHN, which I don't think will ever happen. But the remake of it would be amazing. I'm a huge fan of the remake. I know a lot of people were kind of hit and miss with it, but I think that those two movies are perfect for a haunted house at Horror Nights. But Warner Brothers hasn't been cooperating very well with Horror Nights recently, so it might not happen. But thankfully, we could be getting Terrifier, and I'm all about it. What are they gonna do with Terrifier is another question. Same thing as The Last of Us. Like, what are they gonna do with it? Are they gonna do one movie? Are they gonna do all three movies? I think it makes the most sense to do three movies, because you can pull from the best moments of each movie. Because, like I said, one, there's not really a whole lot to do, especially when the biggest part of that movie was a extremely graphic scene that they will never put in a house. No way. I would put money down that that will never make it into a house. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of options. I mean, have you seen the new movie, James? The third one?
I think we talked about this. I'm still stuck in the limbo of the pre movies, those anthologies.
Oh yeah,
I think I
you don't
seen
really need to watch those. They're not really.
I think I seen the first one, and I'm halfway through the second. I don't know, something like that. But it's been a while.
So with the second movie, there's a carnival in the second one, and like a fun house in the second one. Then the third one has like a mall scene, and it's Christmas time, and you can do a lot with the Christmas stuff. I mean, the opening scene where he's like dressed up as Santa, and he goes into a family's house, and it's all decorated with Christmas. That could be part of the house. I mean, that there's a lot you could do with the Christmas theme. So it'd be really cool if they put a lot of three into the house because of the Christmas aspect to
Yeah, and then bleed into the holidays. Why not stick around?
it. Right? Yeah. Oh, we finally have some Christmas merch at Horror Nights, right? It'd be like Art the Clown Christmas Horror Nights
Yeah,
merch.
I mean they already started putting little Easter eggs on each other's things, right? Did you see the squirrel stuff had some Halloween stuff on it for the
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. The Christmas merch had Jack the Clown on it randomly. It's wild, man, wild.
people are scared of subliminal messages like it's a like it's not real. It is kind of, they're hiding clowns in the Christmas stuff. That's that's the stuff they warn about in the 80s, right? They're like there's a secret message and stuff.
Yeah. Um, something real quick to talk about is Legacy has straight up said, without any putting any puzzles out, that he is not hearing anything of Universal Monsters coming to HHN34. So this could be a little break from the Universal Monsters. People have started to throw out guesses as to why that is, and it could be because Epic Universe is opening, obviously, with that
Oh
land,
no.
and the Las Vegas event, which is going to be year round, is having a Universal Monsters house at that location. So the guess is they don't want to confuse people as to where things are. They want business to go to the new Las Vegas location. Someone also brought up that, if there's a Universal Monsters house at Vegas and also at the Orlando event, people are going to be like, well, let's just go to the Orlando event. There's more to offer there as well on top of the Universal Monsters. So
Dude, Orlando's getting rid of the monsters for good, dude.
no, no. I think there's just going to
If
be a
they got
break.
Epic right there, why would they have? Oh
No,
no.
I think they'll be back eventually. But it
Man, I
does
hope.
it does need a break, especially with last year's house. It wasn't the best out of the whole series they've done. They've done a Universal Monsters house every year since 2019. So, it's
I
a,
mean, okay, break time, yeah,
it's about
but
time.
in the meantime, we got a whole Frankenstein park. It's gonna. I don't know.
Not just
Maybe they don't.
Frankenstein, everything, all the Universal
I know
Monsters.
that's what I'm saying. Like of monsters, maybe they got no more need for a
Well,
little
well,
monsters
they
house.
they want to focus on that for when Epic Universe opens, and that makes sense. I mean, they want people to
Mm.
go there and experience that, and not have them confused, like thinking that Universal Monsters is only going to be at Horror Nights. There's a whole land now. I believe they will be back in a couple years, or
All right, I
they
hope
they
so.
might skip a year or whatever. All I know is myself and nearly everybody in the community, we want a creature from the Black Lagoon haunted house. It needs to happen. It just needs
There you
to.
go. That'd be a good comeback.
But yeah, that is a little rumor that Legacy put out there. It looks like there will not be Universal Monsters this year, and like I said, he said he's hearing 5 IPs. So he has revealed the two that he's most confident in at the moment. So yeah, we'll see what the other three are. I mean, again, it's super early. We're December right now. It's crazy that
If this all leads to an American Dad house, I'm not going. I'm not going this year.
All right, fellow obsessies. We are coming in legitimately from the future. It is now a whole nother year. we have jumped into the HHN DeLorean to come reveal some more crazy news, and it's piled up since the first recording we did for this episode. So we recorded the first part of this episode before Christmas time, and the holidays kind of got in the way, so I didn't get to finish editing. But thankfully, I didn't get to finish because of all this stuff coming out. We could just tack it onto this episode. So this is just going to be a super long rumor episode. James.
Yes, I'm here too in the DeLorean. And I wasn't supposed to do this, but happy birthday, Florence Pugh. That's pretty cool. Anyway,
And
from the
Happy
future.
New
birthday.
Year, because again, we're a whole nother year now.
Goodbye 2024, 24. 25 is the, yeah, it's been waiting. I've been waiting for the SpongeBob.
What's better than 24, James?
25.
And if some of these rumors are true, it is going to be a much better year
SpongeBob
than
House.
24. What?
SpongeBob House.
Yeah, they're actually going to put it in the
SpongeBob
SpongeBob store like we originally thought last year.
Heck
I don't know if
yeah.
you remember that.
Hey, it gets scary. There's some scary content to be made.
Yeah. Doodle Bob.
Oh yeah, and the exposed brain. That's just his brain
Me
sticking out.
moy, me moy. Just like echoing in the darkness.
Oh yeah, Hashling and Slasher. Ooh,
Oh yeah, there's a ton of stuff right there. What are they doing?
it's ready to go.
All
We got
right,
the
we're already
little-
getting off topic, and
Yeah,
we
okay.
got to remember this is just one episode. So I'm sure, James, you haven't heard a single thing. For those of you who are new to the podcast for this season, this show is basically me revealing a whole lot of news to James and him reacting and us talking about it and discussing it. James keeps himself in the dark, and I think it makes the show unique in a way. So
Yeah, if we were in a movie, I'm the excuse for the exposition. I'm the, you dump the lore on me for that reason.
But anyway, he purposely keeps himself in the dark, and therefore he knows nothing right now. So I'm going to start with some ride closure news because that is going to connect to some other stuff that I'm going to reveal later. And there is a big crazy rumor that I'm going to end it off with. So I'm going to save that for last. But first off, right after we recorded the first part of this episode, Universal submitted a permit to demolish and repurpose Rip Ride Rocket roller coaster. It did not reveal when they were going to do it, but it was a permit to demolish it and put something else there. But very shortly after, somebody on Twitter asked the Universal Twitter page when it would be closing, and they did respond to September of 2025. Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket will be permanently closing.
Dang. I mean, all they had to do was add songs, but they ran out. They like took some songs and they had 5 songs, and then they were like, no more songs. I guess no more ride. I don't know.
Yeah, over a year ago, they got rid of most of their songs. They kept one song per genre, and I think that was the downward spiral of this ride. I think that was them saying, well, this is probably going to be the last year. We don't need to pay for the rights for these songs anymore. We're just going to pay for this small amount of songs and then, get rid of this ride. I had constantly heard a lot of people complain about this ride because of how rough it was. I had not experienced that ever until this past trip, and I totally understood what everybody was talking about. So because this ride was over 10 years old, it started to get really rough nowadays. But I found out it's either certain cars or it's the back of the train car, because I rode Rip Ride Rocket twice on the past trip this past October. First time, I actually got to sit in the front row, and it was fine. It was a perfectly okay ride on that coaster, nothing out of the ordinary. But then I rode it at Horror Nights, and we got like either the back row or the second to last row. And man, it was the most painful roller coaster experience I've ever been on. Like, back-breaking pain. It's time. It's time for Rip Ride Rocket to go. It's going to be weird not having that coaster, like as part of the the skyline of Universal, or even just the vibe of Horror Nights. Waiting in lines at the haunted houses. You constantly see the cars go by
Hey,
and
so they're
stuff.
really
So
scooping out the whole thing. They're not just gonna like recode it, like repurpose it. That's what I would do. Come on,
the permit is for a demolition.
that's wild.
I mean, there's going to be another coaster there probably in the same footprint,
Hmm.
but it's probably going to be a whole different layout. And what everybody's speculating is that out in Hollywood, I think we talked about this in a previous episode. In Hollywood, they are building a Fast and Furious drift coaster,
Hmm.
and that is the speculation of what this could be turning into. But that wouldn't make sense for New York. Why is it in the New York area, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
So another speculation or rumor, I'm not even sure what it is. I don't know if somebody heard about this or this is just people speculating. I have no idea. I'm just relaying what I've been reading. Another thing that's been talked about a replacement is a Ghostbusters coaster.
There you go.
Part of the demolition permit had to do with the firehouse facade right there by where the tribute store is. Right above the facade is where part of the coaster comes out of, kind of loops right there in that corner.
Yeah, it's built in.
So there is a theory of something being added to that where that could be the entrance to the ride now.
This is like full out, like they're uprooting the whole thing and
Yeah,
slapping. I mean, I'm for the Ghostbusters thing. It's like built into the setting, but
right.
I'm not married to the idea that it has to be with the setting. I mean, just make it good enough that it's excusable, right? I mean,
That's a good point.
I won't be mad at
It's
it.
it's universal. It doesn't really have to fit. I mean, Transformers is in a random spot, so it doesn't really matter too much. But as far as if it were the Fast and Furious coaster, there's kind of a pro and con there because if it is the Fast and Furious coaster, that means they could get rid of the old ride and put something better there once that coaster's open, right?
How much of a
Um,
staple is Fast and Furious that they're in talks for another thing? Are
well, it's
they
a
like
universal property, so it's easier to
are they
to
still running?
obtain.
They're still going out, like still stacking movies?
As far as I know, there's at least one more movie coming out because the Fast X movie was supposed to be split into 3 movies,
Hmm.
and I don't know if it did well enough to do that, but for sure they're making a second, like a part 2 to the X Fast X movie.
That's funny. Wasn't Triple X? That's an old Vin Diesel thing, right?
Yeah. Uh, but Ghostbusters also makes sense because of the firehouse and because they just obtained the theme park rights to Ghostbusters last year. So it would make sense that they would want to make an attraction for it. I don't know if I'd want them to waste the IP on a coaster though, because Ghostbusters doesn't really scream coaster IP, unless it was like a Mummy indoor coaster, something like that. Um, a lot of people want a Ghostbusters shooter type ride which could replace Men in Black. Like that would be a much better, option. But that's what's been going around with Rip Ride Rocket, what it could possibly be. But it will absolutely, for sure, close in September of 2025, which is interesting because Halloween Horror Nights starts at the end of August. So
Hmm.
it's just going to close in the middle of Horror Nights. It's still going to be open partially for when Horror Nights starts. Doesn't make sense to me, especially because lines kind of go through or under the coaster. So that is a weird choice.
Hmm.
All right. So the next discussion that we're going to be talking about is also right after we recorded on Christmas Day, actually. Horror Night Nightmares gave us a nice little gift. They gave us a super, super early speculation map. However, they are not calling this version 1 of the speculation map. They are simply calling this a preview of the speculation map. This is definitely the earliest they've ever done one. So, I mean, that is again telling something. Like the rumors are just going crazy off the walls this year. It's just insane how soon we're getting all these rumors
This is all thanks to them, like being scared of someone stealing properties, right? Because of the
of
Stranger
Six
Things.
Flags, probably. Yeah.
It makes sense. I just want to make sure this is the catalyst,
Mhm.
which I love. I love it. It's great.
Just wait till you hear. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so I do have the map in front of me. I just send it to you, James, if you want to
Oh,
take a look at it together. It's not very revealing. So what we got are a bunch of symbols. A lot of them are Christmas presents, which are saying that they're unknown, they're mysteries. They are wrapped presents that we won't get to open until a later date. Is basically what those are. But we do have 5 symbols on this thing. So, first off, right up at the front is a dove. It's a dove with flowers. To be honest with you, I really can't remember what people were thinking that is, and I don't even know what that would be. Any guesses for that, James?
Well, how's the 12 Days of Christmas go?
Oh yeah,
That looks like two lotuses. Those aren't just like random plants. I don't know.
I think they're flowers,
It could be
and
like
that's
water lilies.
once we're done talking about the speculation map. The next thing we're going to talk about has to do with flowers. So it is interesting how we're seeing flowers on there. I wonder if it is connected or not. But for now, we're gonna skip over to the next one, which is it's a one of those like play horses, the rocking horses from like I don't know one of those old kids toys. So a lot of people are guessing that this is The Last of Us. This is representing The Last of Us because there's horses in Last of Us. They ride horses in Last of Us 2, and that could
Hmm.
be what that is.
So if they're symbolic, well, maybe the bird is for the birds. Alfred Hitchcock.
That would be kind of interesting to see, but I don't know if they could do a whole house on that. The one little section with the birds in Scarecrow, I don't know if you remember that, was cool, but I don't know if they could do a whole house like that.
Mm.
Remember when the birds would poop on you in Scarecrow?
Yeah.
The one after that is a Santa beard, and that is pretty easy. That is Terrifier. That is representing
Mm.
Terrifier 3 because he dresses like Santa. Pretty sure that's what that is. And this rumor is currently the strongest rumor right now is Terrifier. It's been talked about a lot. Also, since we last recorded, Legacy and I think Pinhead have both like strongly said that this seems like it is coming. And I think I even saw somebody ask Pinhead on Discord about it, and he said that as of now, from what he's hearing, it is still coming to HHN34. So get ready for Art the Clown.
Would this all be Santa themed? I mean, I'm a Christmas themed, or this is
Uh,
just
so
the
so that's what a lot of people were
theme of the map.
asking. That's what they were thinking, but this Christmassy design is simply just because it was a Christmas gift on Christmas Day that Horror Night Nightmares put out. So nothing to do with the event. It's not going to be a Christmas themed event or anything like that. So skip over a couple of venues where the Fast and Furious is. There is a symbol that looks like a toy shelf. Has a bunch of kids' toys. There's like alphabet blocks, a bunny, some kind of doll. So the biggest guesses that I've seen is Megan. Another one is Chucky, which is exactly where Chucky was 2 years ago. Was at
Yeah.
Fast and Furious. I don't know. I'm not. I'm not gonna buy into that, into any of those because I just can't see a Megan house.
You
I
know, it's
just
a
can't see
freaky
it being
movie
done.
was Small Soldiers. That was freaky when they started cutting the kid's finger. Ooh,
Hey man, I love that movie, and that was more like supposed to be a family movie, but yeah, it did have some kind of
nah,
hardcore
dude,
moments.
that was freaky. That movie,
So yeah, just not a whole lot to talk about there. We're just kind of going over this spec map real quick because it's so early. There's not really a whole lot of backing to these. So
Hmm.
for now, it's just kind of a maybe. It could be this, maybe it could be that. I don't know. And then the last symbol is over there at one of the newer tents, and it's a ghost. My first thought when I saw that, and also once I got online and saw everybody's reaction to that one, it was all pretty much the same. People were thinking it's going to be the ghost with the most.
Me.
Beetlejuice, the
Oh,
sequel, could be coming to HHN34.
you think that looks like it? The little ghost could be
Well, I mean, these
representative.
are just very vague symbols, and they're clues. They're not necessarily
Yeah,
automatically telling you what they are. They're just clues.
I
You
see a
know, it could
ghost.
be the ghost with the most. It could be Conjuring. It could be anything with a ghost. But a lot of people are kind of aiming for Beetlejuice, because it was a previous property a few years ago, and the movie just came out. It would make sense that they would bring a sequel to the house. And
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember, but you put Beetlejuice at HHN30 at number one.
was it number one?
I
Okay.
had it like either 9 or dead last, and it wasn't that year. I didn't hate any house. That year had decent houses, good houses. Although it had the COVID restrictions, they were all still really good. But I was a little disappointed in that house, Mostly because I got to see the preview of it in 2020 when they opened it for a couple days. And when I saw it there to whenever they brought it back the following year for the official event, it just wasn't the same. I think they had less people. They it just didn't have like the repeatability maybe. I don't know, but it just felt so empty and it felt like they could have done a lot more with some of the scenes. So, if Beetlejuice is coming back, this is a way to, redeem themselves, I think. And there's plenty of stuff they could do with the new movie. There's plenty of Beetlejuice drink options they could bring to the event too, and the food and everything. It's a
Yeah, I mean,
no-brainer.
it makes more sense now than it did even back then when it did happen, and when it
Right.
did, it was still very popular. And I mean, yeah, I would say strike while the iron's hot. Anyway, and right now Jennifer Ortega is still hot. She's still having her moment.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd say that's a no brainer. Like you're saying, like all the food options too. I mean, if they didn't jump on it before, like it's a fun aesthetic.
And they already have the Beetlejuice character in the park, so they already kind of own certain rights to it, although it's a
Yeah.
Warner Brothers property. So yeah, I just think it is very possible that Beetlejuice could be coming to the event. But is it just more of wishful thinking versus actual rumor speculation? I don't know, but it is being talked about, and yeah. So that's pretty much it for this map because everything else is unknown. Like I said, they called it a preview map. What is interesting though, I don't know if they intended to do this or they just didn't put it on because it's a preview map. If you look at where the show is, it says unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Do they
See a
know
lot of
something?
them.
Like, do they know that Nightmare Fuel isn't coming back this year? It's going to be something else?
Why? Because you think the rumor would have had the for sure. You think it would have been there for sure, like if it was a given.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they heard something that maybe that was the last year of Nightmare Fuel. I don't know.
Hmm.
It would be interesting if something else went into that theater. But
Gotta say Bill and Ted.
yeah, but people are going to start hating us for bringing that back up.
Well, I'm gonna keep sticking to my guns. I mean, on if I happen to be right, then I was steadfast. Y'all saw it here. Bill and Ted. I'm
They're not
let's
coming back, man. I
you
don't
never
think they
know.
are. There was a rumor last year. Remember that where there was like an Animal Actors. There was like a
Yeah,
show being rumored there, and there was like guessing it was Bill and Ted, but
yeah.
then that disappeared. So maybe there was some kind of traction. Something was happening, and then it didn't. But I don't think it'll ever come back. They had a lot of problems with the parody stuff. There was a reason they didn't allow filming in there because they didn't want it to get out to whoever the IPs were they were making fun of.
I'm knocking on wood for my sake and for our sake, whoever's on my side. I knocked on wood.
All right, so now we're going to start with the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest rumor that has come out, and this happened yesterday. So this is fresh. So yesterday, most of the house build permits got released, and every year they have a theme to name each house. They're like code names, so the actual name of the house doesn't get leaked. They're just code names that are put onto the permits, and there's always a theme to those code names. Last year was desserts, and usually there is a very small connection from the specific code name to the house that they always kind of work out. Not saying that's what's happening this year, but usually there is a small connection to what the name is. So the code name theme this year are different flowers. That's what kind of makes me wonder if those flowers had anything to do with the symbol with the bird on the map. But real quick, the current revealed code names are Poppy, Snapdragon, Violet, Lily, Poinsettia, Jasmine, Carnation, Iris, Tulip, and Daisy. So far, there are 10. There are 10 permits, right? One of the permits is for Soundstage 25. And the reason why that is interesting is they haven't used that one since 2019. And that, my friend, is the venue where they use Poltergeist and the second Stranger Things house that we did not get to see. but that is the house that is freezing cold, or the venue that is freezing cold because of the college or something that they have in there with all the computers.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that ain't no accident either, right? It's 25. Come on,
Oh
25.
yeah. Yeah. Here's the interesting part. So because they put that venue there, there is a permit there for that soundstage. Everything else is accounted for as well from last year, kind of. And what I mean by that is Soundstage 24B has a permit, but not Soundstage 24A. It's the same sound stage that it just shares two houses, basically. So, what this means is they have one for B. They wouldn't put a permit for B if there wasn't an A. So, guess what that means, James?
Double house. They're sharing a space. No, wait. It's announcing it without announcing it because it implies it's the implication. No.
No, there will be two houses. As of now, that's what's being said. There is going to be two houses in that soundstage, like there usually is. That just shares half the stage. But now, also, there is a permit for soundstage 25.
11th house.
Correct.
No, did I get it?
Yes.
Possible 11 houses. Whoa.
Hold on now.
Okay.
So, I'm going to read a post that Legacy put out on Blue Sky right after the code names came out. He put, in light of the HHN code names starting to drop, I will say this. Based on what I'm hearing, speculation for 2025 may get very, very weird. Okay? Now,
All right.
so in light of all these permits starting to come out, he posted that in the middle of all the permits, right? Well, when all of them dropped, he did confirm what he's been hearing is absolutely there is 11 houses being built right now. Okay?
Oh,
He said that. There is 11 houses being built as of now, and he is very confident in that. But guess what, James? It doesn't end there.
12.
It's if this is true, this is unreal. Okay? He
Okay.
said, he straight up said,
Let me guess. 11th house because Stranger Things, right? It's going to be Stranger Things house number 11.
nope.
That's oh,
Okay,
I don't know.
what he put in his post is when somebody asked about the 11 houses, and he confirmed this 11 houses for sure. He also said, the number I've heard is higher still. What he's hearing is there is going to be 12 houses at HHN34,
Oh, okay.
which I I can't even fathom that. Like, okay, maybe, yeah, 11 houses is, they're finally moving up. I mean, HHN 27 at 2017, there was 9 houses. In 2018, they moved up to 10, and they've had 10 ever since. 2015 was the first year they had 9 houses. So pre 2015, it was 8 houses. It does constantly grow, but they have never jumped 2 houses. If this is true, I'm scared for our wallets. Let me just say that.
I'm scared for the Lions. How are they going to arrange all these houses in the middle of a roller coaster takedown?
Okay,
That's
that's
pretty
part of it.
wild.
That's part of it. Okay, so what
And the
Legacy is
rearrangement.
saying is Rip Ride Rocket is one of the reasons that we're going to get either, the one or the 2 extra houses. Let me read what he said. So he said in another post on Blue Sky, he said 11 houses at HHN Orlando? Question mark. Maybe more? Question mark. With permits hitting, the cat is creeping out of its bag. But why now? Well, the Rip Ride Rocket closure is part of it, I think. But logically, it's because of Epic. Universal is expecting a huge permanent influx in guests. So that means more houses.
Hmm.
So they are trying to pick up the capacity of the event because a whole lot of people are about to be traveling to see Epic Universe this coming year. And not only that, they
Yeah.
are closing down a whole attraction that they had open for Horror Nights. So they need space. And not only that, they only have one show. So I'm hoping this year they are going to have a second show with the Lagoon show finally reopening. So that could help.
Yeah, and if they're not amping it up for like a permanent thing, I mean, not year round, obviously, but like definitely a permanent spike in people every year because of Epic Universe. I mean, I'm encountering people who still don't know about Horror Nights, but with these year round staples like the Vegas experience thing too, and whatever else they're doing, like they're gonna have just growth in awareness even. So like if more people know of it, like that's already more influx of people.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, one of the fears is the passes already go up every year. Imagine what it's going to be like if they do add 2 more freaking houses to this event.
Yeah, make it worth it more. I mean,
No, I think they're going to jack up the price. They're not going to keep the price the same. Second,
right.
they kind of already have problems staffing some of the houses. A lot of times there's so many open, boo holes from people not being there for that night or whatever. So are they going to be able to staff 2 extra houses? And also, it's starting to become quantity over quality, right? Like, is the quality going to go down because they're adding 2 more freaking houses every year?
I would say so. That's my guess. I don't think they're gonna bulk up the staff or jack up the price because that's like you want more mainstream audience. So I think they're just gonna do what they've been establishing lately. The precedents, the budget cuts, the lower quality. I mean, if it's working and it's still bringing people in, why squeeze out the extra juice? I don't know.
I don't believe that they're going to have the same budget that they had last year and have 2 extra houses. There's no way. It will be higher to be able to have 2 more houses. But how much is each house going to have for budget? That's what I'm questioning. And how much time and all that. And then like it's already hard enough even with Express to get through 10 houses every night.
Yeah,
So that's going to be a thing. How is the
yeah,
Rest in Peace tour going to do tours every night? Like they already have problems, getting into 10 houses in a show and food breaks, bathroom breaks and all that.
yeah. The speedrunners are gonna add some minutes to their
Like they
their
are literally
overall.
turning Horror Nights into a multi-night experience, which it already kind of has because it's very hard to get everything done in one night, even with Express. So now if they're adding 2 more houses, that's crazy. But according to Legacy, for sure, we are getting an extra house this year. Like it is going up to 11.
Oh man,
Crank it to
crank it up to
11.
11.
But 12,
Yeah,
dude, 12. Can
I
you?
mean that's the first jump to 12.
So here's what's being talked about. Like I said, there is a permit that came out for 24B. So that means there is a 24A that still has yet to come out. And there's also, the 12th house that still hasn't been revealed either. I mean, currently there is only 10 permits. So there is kind of a waiting game. Everybody's kind of keeping their eye out because, according to Legacy, this is a for sure thing. So when's that permit coming out? So everybody's waiting on the 24A permit, right? But where is the 12th house going to go if that is a true rumor? Are they going to build another tent somewhere? People have been asking about how there used to be a haunted house in the Shrek theater, that there is still an open space where Minions is in the new Villain Con.
Mm-hmm.
People are asking if that could possibly go in there, but people are arguing saying it's not possible because it's a smaller place, smaller room, whatever. Everybody's kind of uncertain where a 12th house would go. Is it going to go into a parade building that they decided not to use last year? Are they going to reopen one of them for a house? That's a possibility. But
Hmm.
so here's another thing I didn't mention. Sound stage 20 or sorry, 25. What is it? Yeah, 25. The one that Poltergeist was in, the one they're adding this year. That is a house used for mega houses, for like big long houses. So people were speculating that what if the 12th house was just a second part of one property that went into soundstage 25, which has
Yeah.
happened before, but it hasn't happened since like the 90s, like the early years of Horror Nights. There was this house, I believe it was called Frightanic, where you would choose which entrance of the house you wanted to go into. And each side of the house was a different experience. It was the same story, but you just got another side of the story. So, what if technically there is 11 houses, but that 12th house rumor is coming from the idea of 2 separate pathways for one house?
Would that be split into like sequel house, or
Well,
is it? It's the same property?
so in Last of Us 2, there is two separate points of view, or like two sides of the story that you follow in the second game.
Oh, like Kingdom Hearts.
I've never played that, so I wouldn't know.
Is that a wild reference? Combining Kingdom Hearts and Last of Us. It's a good comparison. Okay, two perspectives.
So this was brought up by Legacy, how if it could be a possibility that there would be, two separate pathways to experience one property. And he basically said if there was an IP that told two sides of the same story, this would be a compelling reason to see it as a possibility of them having two paths. And that would be Last of Us.
Cool.
So imagine if they were to have another Last of Us house, but there was two different experiences to see, where you get two sides of the story.
Yeah.
Could that be the reason he's hearing a 12th house, possibly? Maybe. Or maybe it's just a whole other location that we're going to be getting. I don't want to put too much into the thought of a 12th house because it might not even be true. It might just be something that's, another false rumor. But according to him, 11 is for sure. So we are for sure getting 11, and there is a possibility for a 12th, which is insane if that actually happens. That's it. That's the big crazy rumor that just popped out of nowhere.
It's a bunch of houses.
That's a lot of houses, yeah. So I also want to point out that on Twitter, his name is Jacob from Cary. That's his username. He has said that he has heard that Fallout is going into Soundstage 24B.
Okay, Fallout. It's a possibility.
Yes. And then Legacy followed up with, yes, he heard the rumor of Fallout the day before, like the day before all that news was coming out. So he also heard the rumor. The thing is, Fallout and Last of Us, and that's another thing. When
Pretty
somebody asks,
different.
so if there's Fallout, does that mean Last of Us isn't coming? And he put just the shrug emoji. So
I mean,
could it be a miscommunication
I don't
of?
think they cancel each other out. They got
It's too
different
similar
tones
though,
enough.
and I don't even know if I haven't even seen Fallout. Is it really gonna go into a house well? Like you've seen it, right? Like, do you
Yeah,
think it'll
it's
work as a
fun.
house?
Yeah, they got their iconic symbology and stuff. Like the show didn't change much from the games. Yeah, I mean it's not as dark in tone as Last of Us. Last of Us is like more. I mean, even more than Stranger Things or anything else, it's like very somber. Fallout, it's like gory and fun, right? It's like, I mean, I always mix it up with Borderlands also, but
Yeah.
but no, it's its own thing, and it has its fun rules, and like it's kind of nihilistic, but in a flashy way. Like it's fun. I could see that. I don't know.
Well, if this rumor continues, if it jumps onto the first speculation map, the first official one, version 1, and keeps gaining steam, I'm going to have to check out Fallout.
Especially if there's more houses this year, then it's gonna dilute it. Like it's not as like 2 out of 10 zombie or apocalypse things. It's like 2 out of 12. It's less. I don't know, percentage or whatever.
Oh, just hearing those numbers is crazy, man. I'm still in disbelief that
Yeah.
like there's even discussion about this. Like every year there's people like, oh, this is the year they're gonna add another house, and everybody like throws it out the window, and then here we are, the first couple of days of 2025. Suddenly there's this huge rumor that 11 houses are coming, and there is talks that there's a 12th. Like what the heck? That's insane. If they are doing 12, Universal is ballsy.
Yeah, they got a lot on their plate already.
And let's just think about this. We've seen 5 soundstage houses there at the front, and we've seen how the lines work. I don't even know how they're going to fit a 6th soundstage queue line somewhere back there. But imagine if there was a 2-parter back there as well, a whole 7th one. I don't think that's even possible. So I guess that's another reason why a second pathway house might not be coming. If there is a 12th, it's probably going to be somewhere else.
Maybe they'll run it through a kitchen, and then we can get like a pit stop.
I don't think there's kitchens back there.
Dang it.
With Rip Ride Rocket being demolished, there might be more space to put lines, but again, it's only closing in September. So I don't think they're going to be demolishing it as Horror Nights is happening. So I don't know if just the closure of it, they might put a line in the line of Rip Ride Rocket.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they could use that space, huh? That the empty line for nothing.
But yeah, to be fair, at the front there's always an entrance where Minion Mayhem is, and we go around Rip Ride Rocket right past it. So I mean, it's not going to be that much different.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel bad for the people that have to like figure out where all those lines are going to go if there is a whole nother house. So
Well, hopefully for some nerd, that's their crack is arranging these lines. I know my brother's
yeah.
a civil engineer, and his whole thing is blueprints. This is their party. They're gonna figure out these lines. Godspeed, line arranger. I see you.
But time is going to tell. Permits are going to be coming out. If this rumor is true, there is going to be another permit, and it's going to show exactly where the 11th house is going to be. More than likely, it's going to be 24A because there is no reason they would put a permit that says 24B if there wasn't an A. It would just be Soundstage 24.
Well, maybe they just kept something in the A slot. Like they moved the King Kong hand there.
no,
That's his spot.
no, there is for sure something coming for Soundstage 24A. And if there is a 12th house, where's that going? I'm really crossing my fingers that a house returns to one of the parade buildings. I think those venues were great because they weren't quite soundstage level, but they were big enough to have bigger sets and long houses versus the tents. So I am kind of hoping that one goes back in there, in at least one of them. So we'll see.
Yeah, I hope they use that for something, and it's not just like I'm assuming they just like drunk piled the corner.
And I just feel like that part of the park is empty. They need a house entrance over there,
Yeah.
like in the new DreamWorks land. Like that whole area is kind of dead. So if
Mm.
they put one there, it would kind of spread out the event a little bit more. And again, we need a second show. There needs to be a second show. The daytime Lagoon show is running now. They've had plenty of time to come up with the new Horror Nights version of it. So I'm pretty sure that is going to be here this coming year. So that'll eat up crowds as well.
They could do like an open mic situation, like a talent show. Just like anyone in the crowd, that'd be cool. Get the audience involved.
Well, all right, that covers all the newest rumors since the
All
last
right.
time we recorded. Any thoughts? Any last thoughts before we get back in this DeLorean and let these people finish the episode?
Okay, we're in the future. We're going to the past. We're talking to the past people, but it's in the future because we didn't release it
Yeah.
yet. I wonder if we're gonna catch up to ourselves. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, 12. That's a lot of houses to juggle, and as it was, I mean, I don't know. We're coming out of the flunk year or the slump year, and Ayelo's
In
back.
our opinion, it's not everybody's opinion.
Okay, right. Just it was a weird year. It was a different year.
It
It was like
was.
transitional.
It was.
And so here we are coming into a bunch of rumors like super early, like way
Mm-hmm.
early. I feel like it's the what do you call it? The groundhog. We've done seen our shadow, but it went looped all the way around, and we're like, I don't know. I feel like we're not getting a gap this time. We're going straight into it.
Straight into it, dude. Straight into it. I mean, our premiere episode is going to be this mega rumor episode. Like, what the
Yeah.
heck?
January, the window is wide open. Like, we're getting blasted by like I don't know.
Well, I'm kind of liking it. I'm a little worried about our wallets, but beside that, I'll be excited to see the event grow. That part is exciting. It's just, are they going to do it right, and how much they're going to charge us? So
And what about the food events? Come on, let's
there's
get
going
in
to be
on
more
this.
food, man. The food's just going to keep growing. It grows every year. So
And so does our audience, and so does our reach. So maybe we'll get invited to the food thing. That's my whole thing. I'll die
James really
happy.
wants to be invited to
Respectfully.
the early press event.
Hey, but I'm gonna take it serious. I'm not just gonna stuff my face. I mean I will do that, but
What
it's
what you're thinking of is the ticketed preview event they had last year where
yeah,
all the food was unlimited, which I
the
didn't
recent
know.
thing.
That's insane.
Yeah, that was gonna be worth it. I mean, comparatively, like that's a good deal over there. I
I
mean,
wouldn't want to go for one day though,
yeah, but
just for all the free food. So,
yeah, maybe they'll do the same thing, but extend it like a couple days.
well, before we travel back into our DeLorean here, I just want to say one more thing to you, James, because when I read this on Discord, I thought about you and the whole Halloween 33 thing.
Yeah.
This year, somebody said something that would be perfect It was actually Who is Jackson on Discord, and this is referring to Fear, like the icon that was at HHN20. What if they were to do Fear for this year, and for 34 they put the EA as 34 in Fear?
EA34. I see it. I'm not gonna get too high hopes. And I think it's not as clean as the threes and the E's.
No, not as clean,
But if they do it, I'll give them a little bit of credit. All right, I'll forgive them a tiny bit,
But yeah, that's just something that somebody brought up that would
It ain't
be kind of
happening.
nice.
That
But
will
I
never
don't think
happen.
it's going
Come
to
on.
happen. No.
But good job. What was it, Jackson? Good job,
Yes, Who
Jackson.
is Jackson
Shout out
on
you.
Discord.
That's a pretty good. I'm on your side with that. But man, these guys, I don't see it.
All right, man. It is time to hop back in. Let's let's go back to our past selves. Or no, let's go back to our future selves because we're in the past now. This is
Yeah.
confusing. Time travel's weird.
Well, technically, we're the first. We're spreading the rumors. The rumors came from us because we went back. Ooh, man, we're patient zeros. That's pretty cool.
All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the episode and let us know about all these crazy rumors that have happened. Put down in the comments what you think. And we're off. All right, let's wind down here real quick. I do want to point out something that we did not talk about before. So, Halloween Horror Nights has won an award at the Golden Ticket Awards 15 years in a row. They've won the same award against other theme parks, and that is the best Halloween event in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Because they
Okay.
won 15 years in a row, the Golden Ticket Awards discontinued the award and crowned them the forever winner of best Halloween event in the nation.
Interesting.
So that does say something about Halloween Horror Nights, is no matter what comes around, this Six Flags crap, Busch Gardens, Hollow Scream, whatever the case, Horror Nights is always going to be king. As of now, unless some random theme park comes out of nowhere and just starts being a better version of Horror Nights. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. It just shows that no matter what Six Flags does, they're still going to be king. I don't necessarily think that they're worried about the competition with Six Flags. They just don't
Oh,
want to be fighting for IPs. They know that they are going to still have sold out crowds at Halloween Horror Nights no matter what is there. They just want to be able to obtain those IPs without any competition. So
if the award giver is defunct, though, like quality control is out the window, right? I mean, now.
the award giver is still an award show. The actual
Okay.
award itself, the category, was discontinued because there was no point in it anymore. They knew every year Halloween Horror Nights was going to win it. So,
But now they can let their gut out, right? They can take a sigh of relief, and they can be sloppy. And everyone else, maybe they're good, but you can't prove it. There's no award anymore. Not that they would do that, but
hey, well, maybe whenever there's an actual competitor that could actually compare to Halloween Horror Nights, they'll bring it back. But I think they said there's no
okay.
point. They might have said it's not even a close race.
Yeah, okay. Someone else better step up. That's cool. Maybe the independent haunts, huh? They get so good they start competing with the
I mean,
king.
independent haunts are great in their own way, but you just can't compete with Halloween Horror Nights. Even on an off year like last year. I mean, I still think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If no one else is competing with them, like professionally, like the pros,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a little guy can step up. I don't know. Skip the
I
line.
mean, you said it yourself. You went to Fright Fest
Yeah.
at Six Flags in San Antonio, and you saw the
It
quality there.
was like Easter Bunny decoration style, like hollow, cheap plastic. Oh man, pretty sad, but so sad it's funny. I don't know. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I will say that this coming year we are planning on attending our local Hallow Scream at SeaWorld San Antonio. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna talk about that on the show very much, but I do want to see the comparison to Six Flags and even to Universal. A lot of people say Hollow Scream is way scarier than Six Flags. I'm curious. I've never attended a Hallow Scream. Anyway, getting a little off topic there, but that pretty much sums up what we know so far about rumors coming to HHN34. It could be a crazy year with the speculation season and the rumor season. I don't know. This never happens. It's really exciting. I'm really hoping that one of them is Nightmare on Elm Street, because apparently they really tried to get one, or they really tried to get Nightmare on Elm Street last year. Didn't work out. Maybe their deal was, let's move it to next year. I don't know. I really hope that's
So
the
that's what
case.
you want. That's your.
I hope that's my main.
I want a Honey that I Shrunk the Kid's house. Remember that giant ant? It's freaky, dude. He lives in my dreams.
That's a weird choice, man. But okay. I don't think
Imagine shrinking. You're powerless. That's scary.
another house that is pretty likely to be coming is Five Nights at Freddy's. It's
All right.
Blumhouse. It's a huge
And that would be
property.
cool as a house, actually. It's better than a movie. And it would be of the game, right? Or
No, of
you
the
think
first
Blumhouse
movie.
is
It'd be the first movie.
okay?
And then we have Stranger Things as a contender too, I feel like, because Stranger Things 5 is coming out
Hey,
this year. I would not doubt that Stranger Things 5 would be coming to 34. So we'll
there
we'll,
we go.
we'll
Ooh.
see. But for now, we're gonna start signing off here. Stay tuned. We're gonna be covering all the latest updates, rumors, speculation throughout the season. There's a couple of off episodes that I want to do in the meantime, in between all the rumor stuff. I for a long time I've been wanting to do some history episodes, starting with Fright Nights. I know there's been a couple of podcasts that have done that already, but I want to do it. I want to talk about it because I've already started to kind of do research on it, and it's fun to start learning about the past. I want to learn more about Horror Nights, and James doesn't know a whole lot about the history, so it'd be fun
Yeah.
to kind of talk about year to year. It's a lot of prep. I'm going to tell you that. It's a lot of prep for those. So
Oh, yeah, a lot of organizing.
eventually, hopefully coming up here soon, we'll do a history episode on Fright Nights from 1991. I think that'll be a fun thing to do. And then another episode I want to do is compare 33 to 32 and make an episode out of that.
Hey, and why not a little viewer mail segment, or at least like a comment that someone did, like a nice little mention here and there? That'd be kind of cool. I mean, it doesn't have to be physical mail, just some nice community stuff. Little part.
Yeah, maybe we could start up something like that. That sounds cool. I also want to do an episode where we look back at all the years that we've been to and make a top 10 list of favorite houses that we've experienced. I think that'll be a fun episode to do.
Of all time, right?
Yeah, so far. So far top 10.
Right.
There's a couple there's a few ideas that I'm throwing around trying to think of for like some what were supposed to be off-season episodes, but we're already into the season, I guess. So we'll kind of squeeze them in here and there if we can. Just stick with us. It's going to be an interesting year.
Yeah, has the season started for everyone? I mean, the rumors are going.
Yeah, it has.
All right, there we go.
It's crazy. Yeah. But anyway, please follow us on all our social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads. We're at HHN Obsession. And please, if you love the show or just even like the show, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Please, we need those 5-star reviews. Get our ratings up, and it kind of gets us out there whenever people search for us or search for similar topics.
Yeah, think of the power you have in your hands.
Yeah, the
You
more
could
reviews, the
make or
more we
break
can
us.
get out there. So if you don't already know, on Spotify, they have added the feature to add comments to the bottom of the episode on Spotify. So leave us some comments. Tell us about what you think about the upcoming rumors or just anything you could possibly think of. Leave a comment. On that note, it's time to go. We will see you on the next episode.
All right, y'all be excellent to each other.
Don't party too hard, dudes.
All night party.
You're damn right. Just wait a while, giving you the hit with your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hit with your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hit with your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hit with your face now. Wait a while.
Hey everyone, Just wanted to give a quick shout out to my good friend Zach Weber, who provided our intro and outro song, Heebie Jeebies. You can listen to the full version of Heebie Jeebies on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, or anywhere where you listen to your favorite music. Thanks for listening.